What I'm going to do with the motor, and I was checking this thing out, and there's no ridge at all on the case. And the cool thing is everything was standard. So the crank was standard, the case is standard. In fact, probably I wouldn't doubt that it's the original motor from the car. I think it only has 110,000 miles on it. And so the cam was in good shape. I'm just going to go ahead and run a 40. Since I'm going to run a 40 horse, so you guys can know, if you're running 40 horses, the main bearings are, because they're only 66 millimeter stroke, or 64 millimeter stroke, they really don't have a lot of stroke. So there's not a lot of reciprocating motion that goes on to beat up the bearings. It's when these guys put these stroker cranks in and stuff like that, is when you have all that extra stress on your case. So the old 40 horses were pretty tough, and the only thing that went, this was kind of Mickey Mouse, why they ever didn't put cam bearings in here. But I used to run these all the time with, there's no looseness in there. The lifter cavities were tight on this motor, so usually the lifter cavities on 40 horses wear out. In fact, the lifters where, I don't know if you can even see this. See if we can put some light on it. If you see how thick that portion of the lifter is, these have never been reground. Okay? Sometimes they've been reground 2 or 3 times and they're a little thin. These have never been reground. So, and there were some signs of wear in the middle of them. It's not very much, but the cam is still in pretty good shape. So if you stay away from a performance cam, you have stock heads on your 40 horse, the springs are pretty soft. You can get away with not putting cam bearings in it at all, because it never had them to begin with. People machine it out and put the cam bearings in. So if you're going to still run it as a 40 horse, if you're going to go to a 1600, then absolutely you should put the cam bearings in, because you're going to have that additional reciprocating motion. You're going to have stiffer springs, because you're probably going to put dual port heads on it, and stuff like that. So if you stick with 40 horse, you can do a lot of different things. So this is what I ended up doing. The crank was standard. Took it to Brothers Machine Shop. They're going to go ahead and machine it probably to 1010 or 2020. I don't even think they're going to get past 1010, because it really wasn't that bad. He was actually pretty surprised when he saw it. He goes, "No, this thing's not bad at all." And the rods are going to have to be rebuilt, and so I turned those in as cores and put some new bearings in here. I got from AA a set of 1384 kit. They used to call them 1385s, but now they call them really what they are, 1384. So it's a big bore kit for the 40 horse that just slides on. And I don't know, we got a few extra bump sticks laying around. We may put a cam in this thing to kind of give it a little more, but I'm not sure. I still don't think I'm going to. The reason I'm probably not going to is because the 40 horse didn't have very much compression. Original 40 horse was 6.1 to 1, so that's another reason why the cases didn't get beat up. 6.1 to 1 was the original 40 horse. We're probably going to have at least 7 to 1 with these pistons, but I'm not sure if it's going to have any more than that. If there's a way to pump it up to 8, then I would say we could put a cam in it, and it would give it some pretty good freeway cruise speed. But I don't think I'm not looking to hot rod this thing. The reason I'm staying with 40 horse and not going to 1600 is because it has already a good 437 gear trans. So, with a 437 gear trans, it's kind of like you're screaming down the road with a 1600, and it's just going to run hot. The 40 horses didn't care. They didn't run hot because it had such low compression. So, yeah, I think I'm going to stay with the 7.1 to 1. We're going to be right around there. Going to put those piston cylinders on, give it a little more torque, and go with it right there. I had a 1385 kit in one of my buses, and man, it wasn't. I mean, it still wasn't. It wasn't as fast as 1600. So that tells you something right there. But it was a big difference between that and the 40 horse. It was just had a little more, uphill power. It didn't like the 40 horse when you climb up little things, in the freeway. You go up and down those little humps in the freeway. You're always you're flooring it when you're going up it, and then you're letting off. It's they don't have much power. So that's how we're going to do the 40 horse up. The parts are coming, and then I'll have this thing back on the road here as soon as Chris has time to put it together. He's my go-to guy for building the engines. He has his resale number and all that stuff, and those parts accounts for getting those racks and all that stuff. Okay, all right. We'll talk to you guys in the next video.